So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing good, and we are on our session number 2 of DSA grind. So without wasting any time, let's solve it. Yeah. So the first question is for some, right? So for this series, for this video, what I'm gonna do is I will explain you the logical part, the notes part, and all the coding part. But I'm not gonna code. You can give me your views on that. Like, do you prefer this type of video or the previous one? Yeah. So for the foursome, right? It is similar to this threesome. How the threesome in some in I fix I do one fix, and I for that I will do a two sum operation, right? कि मैंने I fix करा and J और K I on the sorting part, I traverse on the JNK and I look for a pair which gives me the result, right? You can go check out the previous video, right? So in foursome what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do two fixes. ठीक है, मैं I लूंगा, मैं J लूंगा, दो fix करूंगा, and for the K and L part, what I will do is I will do the same thing, right? The two sum. So let's move to the coding part. So for coding part, the question is very much clear कि हमें चार number चाहिए and their sum should be equal to the target and unique होनी चाहिए, quadruples makes sense, indices different होनी चाहिए also like the previous one, right? And इसके अंदर each value is in the range of minus 10 raised to power 9 to 10 raised to power of 9. So we need to think something of that also, right? So this is the code. First thing is कि हमने sorted कर दिया because हम two sum लगाने वाले हैं, and for that we need a sorted operation, right? और हमें compare भी करना है. Return बना लिया मैंने and ले लिया I is equal to I less than n minus 3. मुझे दो fixes करने हैं, right? I k and j k. So and another thing is if I is not equal to 2 and it is equal to the previous one like 1 1, so at this came कि कोई भी यहाँ पे अगर मैं केस ले लूँ कि मेरे पास 1 1 2 2 2 2 ऐसा कुछ दिया हुआ, ठीक है? अगर मैं आई यहाँ लेके अगर मैं कोई जे और के ढूंढ लेता हूँ इस पोर्शन पे, ठीक है, और अगर मैं फिर आई को यहाँ लेता हूँ और कुछ मैं जे के एल ढूंढ लेता हूँ इस पोर्शन में, तो that would gives us the duplicate set, right? So I is not equal to 0, and if it is equal to the previous one, continue. Let's remove these two cases for now, ठीक है? कॉम्प्लिकेट करेगा है. एंड फॉर दैट कि आफ्टर दैट मुझे जे फिक्स करना है, जे वुड बी आई प्लस वन और उसके बाद एन माइनस टू, क्योंकि मुझे दो एलिमेंट्स छोड़ने पड़ेंगे लास्ट के, राइट? If j is greater than I plus 1 or j is not equal to I plus 1 and it is also equal to the previous one, just continue. उसके बाद मैं टू सम करने वाला हूँ, ठीक है? At this moment what I will do is I will do the two sum operation, right? K equal to j plus 1, L equal to n minus 1. लास्ट से एलिमेंट लेना है और j plus 1 से लेना है. सेम प्रॉपर्टी कि if k is greater than j plus 1 and it is equal to the previous one, k plus plus and continue इसलिए ताकि ये वापस while loop चेक करे कि whether that is in the range. While L is less than n minus 1, लास्ट वाला जो एलिमेंट है is equal to the plus 1, वो अपने वाले से इक्वल है, तो L keep decrementing. After that what I did is कि I converted that into long. Make sense? यहाँ पे 10 to the power of 9 दिया हुआ, मुझे चार आंसर्स जोड़ने, राइट? चार पोजीशन. If x equal to target, if we have achieved target, I just push back I j k l and incremented and decremented k plus plus l minus 1. Else if x is less than target, so I need to increment the number, right? So I j तो मेरे फिक्स हो चुके हैं पहले से, तो मुझे k और l में से कुछ चेंज करना पड़ेगा, राइट? x जो हमारा अभी सम है वो ग्रेटर देन टारगेट है, तो मुझे डिक्रीमेंट करना है, राइट? सो l मैंने सब्ट्रैक्ट कर दिया and else पोर्शन k plus plus. Now this is the like code part. If I submitted, that would submit easily, right? 114 millisecond, right? And the another thing that I just removed from this part, which is this, right? So what was that? Let's just see. ठीक है, मैंने आई फिक्स करा. आफ्टर दैट मैंने इनका सम ले लिया लॉन्ग में कन्वर्ट करके, आई स्टार वन एल एल नम एन माइनस वन, मतलब लास्ट वाला एलिमेंट, सेकंड लास्ट एलिमेंट, थर्ड लास्ट एलिमेंट. इसका मतलब है आपने तीन एलिमेंट लास्ट के उठाए और एक एलिमेंट सबसे पहले जो आपने आई फिक्स किया था वो उठाया. इफ दैट नंबर इज लेस देन टारगेट, सो इट मीन्स कंटिन्यू. ये कह रहा है कि उसके बाद आप कंटिन्यू करो. इसका मतलब है आपने आई लिया, अब नाउ यू विल लुक फॉर जे के एन एल, राइट? दीज थ्री एलिमेंट्स. आपने सबसे मैक्सिमम एलिमेंट्स उठा लिए, लास्ट के जो भी थे वो एलिमेंट्स आपने पिक कर लिए हैं. सो you have picked all the last elements, right? All the bigger elements now. And if your sum is still less than target, so you can't achieve greater than target, so at that point continue. That means I need to improve, I need to increment the ith portion, okay? And the another thing is कि मैंने I pick किया and I picked up I plus 1, I plus 2 and I plus 3. ठीक है, सबसे मिनिमम एलिमेंट्स फ्रॉम द जे के एंड एल. इफ सम ऑफ ऑल दीज इज ग्रेटर देन टारगेट, दैट मीन्स कि स्टार्टिंग के मिनिमम एलिमेंट्स का सम टारगेट से बड़ा आ गया. फॉर दैट केस आई एम जस्ट ब्रेक आउट फ्रॉम द लूप. वाई? क्योंकि मैं इसको घटा ही नहीं सकता, राइट? मैं आई को आई प्लस वन करूंगा तो दैट वुड रिजल्ट इन अ बिगर नंबर. इफ so same theory, right? So if I try to submit this one also, It is giving me 29 milliseconds. You can see that how the runtime is improved. Okay, so that's it. Let's move to our next question now. Next question, which is contains duplicate 3. We have already seen the contains duplicate second, right? So it's my position difference and we have a value difference, right? We need to take care of these two conditions. So let's read the question statement now. So the contains duplicate 3. Given an integer array nums and two integer k and t. Return proof, there are two distinct indices I and j in the such. We have already seen such type of question, but in that question we just have to take care of the position, like their position between difference, and that number should be a duplicate. But here it should be the absolute of that, the difference should be less than equal to t, and we also need to take care of the position. ठीक है, विजुलाइज कर लेते, k equal to 3, t equal to 0 दिया, t equal to 0 मतलब the difference should be less than equal to 0, मतलब the number should be same, right? And the position difference should be less than equal to k. So k is equal to 3. So this is one difference, two difference and three difference, 1 1 1. We have already seen that concept कि हमें हमेशा आगे देखना है, पीछे देखने का मतलब नहीं है. 2 और 3, यहाँ पे आप एक विंडो बना रहे हो और 3 से फिर मैं पीछे बना रहा हूँ, that does not make any sense, right? तो nums equal to 1 0 1 1, k is equal to 1, t is equal to 2, k equal to 1. K equal to मतलब this two size window, right? And the difference should between them is less than equal to 2. मिल गया हमें यहाँ पे nums equal to k equal to 2. So that's the case, right? So let's move to our notes for more clarity. So yeah, now the logical part of second question, which is contains duplicate third, and we have given two things, right? Position difference, absolute of I minus j should be less than equal to q. We have already seen that, and the value difference should be k, absolute of the value difference should be less than equal to t. Don't look back. We have already seen one thing, right? We don't need to do two kind of comparison, right? So if, let's just say if there are a, b, and c, I'm comparing a with b, then at b I should not compare b with a, right? We have already seen that comparison. So what we need, a structure to hold window size. Obviously we are talking about a window here, right? Because the distance between them should be less than equal to k, so a k plus 1 side window can gives us the closely element different at difference. Why is that? Because मुझे चाहिए कि the difference between them should be less than equal to t, so I need the elements which are closely of closely value, like, so I can do some kind of sorting. Let's just say that 3 or 5, 3 and 4, the difference between them is 1, right? 3 and 7, the difference between them is 4, right? So that kind of thing. 3 and 7 distance between them is 4, and 3 and 6 the distance between them is 3, right? So I need something like the closely related elements, the difference between them should be minimum. So sorting and checking adjacent, that could be thing, but think of something better, right? So when we get any valid answer, why हमें कब मिलता है वैलिड आंसर, लाइक अभी तक मेरे पास आई हैव अ विंडो साइज ऑफ some let's just say 2 or 3 elements, and suddenly I inserted a new element, I got my answer which is correct. So how I got the answer? The newly inserted element that I just inserted, it has an element which is close to its, right? So and that difference between them should be less than equal to t, so I got my answer because I inserted a new element, right? So I need to work on that logic कि when a new element is inserted for num i, we get a x, कि मैंने एक num i insert किया and we get a x from the window such that the num i minus x is less than equal to t, or this one should be less than equal to t, any case. So let's just take a case from it, right? So for anything, let's just take this case, nums of I minus x is less than equal to t, and from that I can get is x is greater than equal to nums of I minus t, right? X is greater than equal to nums of I minus t. I just replaced just written the other thing here, but getting an element greater than equal to element of nums I, getting an element greater than equal to any other element, that is the lower bound in C++, right? So we need to work on that logic, and let's move to our coding section now. So this is my coding section, and for the clarity I'm just tell you that there is a window size, let's just say 1 2 3 and blah, and there can be any other number, right? So 1 2 3 4 5, I'm inserting 10 now, okay? And for case you can take it to be 15, you can take it to be 13, or whatever that is, right? So I'm just inserting a 10 here, and I knew that if I insert a 10 I will get any answer. And what I need to look from that window is I just tell you that x should be greater than equal to nums of I minus t. And why is that? I need a number which is greater than equal to t, this difference, nums of I minus t. So 10 minus, let's just say I'm talking about 10 minus, and we are talking about a t of 1 here, right? T of 2 here. So I am saying to you is, give me all the elements which are greater than equal to 10 minus 2, which is 8. So 8 9 10, and 11, it can have an 11 in it, it can have 19 in it, 21 in it, something like that. Give me all those elements in this form, right? So 8, 9, 10, 11, 9 to 20, the first element. So if I get 8 from the window, the difference between them is 2. I get a 9 from the window, the difference between them is in the range of 2. 10, range of 2. This is the range of 2. This is not in the range of 2. So I still need to check. What if these are not the elements in the window? I will get the first element which is greater than equal to this is 19, and from the greater than equal to I can do it with the lower bound operation, right? So I need some kind of this thing, right? So for the better complexity, what I have taken is I have taken a set, and in the set, in the set we will get a sorted form, right? So I've taken a set, just forget this long here, set of int, and I'm traversing on all the element. And for the first element, what I'm doing is I'm checking whether that elements the n minus t. I have just talked about this, that terms of I minus t, is there any element in the window currently present which is greater than equal to? If there is, this iterator will give us the location, right? If that location is not in the end, matlab there is an element which exists, they are to range, and the d difference of that minus n is less than equal to t, means the difference between them is in the range of t. We have just talked about this कि मुझे कोई एक element मिल गया 10 से 8 9 10 and something, like if it is in the range return true, otherwise just insert this new element, right? I have inserted this. If set size is greater than equal to k, right? What is that condition? Let's just talk about the window size here, okay? And we are talking about the k. So k, for k equal to 3, right? So for this, the distance, or what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the distance here, right? So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So for k equal to 3, we are talking about a window size of 4. Then why I am deleting any element when the window size is greater than equal to k? It can be k plus 1, right? Makes sense? I'm deleting it here because after this point, what I will do is I will come back in the loop and I will check, is there any element present than this? So I'm talking about present than this. That means I am already inserting that into the set. I haven't not inserted it yet, but I'm talking about inserting. I'm comparing it with a new element, right? So at that moment, I'm going to insert another element in it. So if set size is greater than k, just erase any number which is I minus k, which is of the position this. And after that, if that isn't the case, return false. Now let's talk about the long, right? So for the long is, let's talk about the constraints here, right? So it is in raised to power 2 raised to power 31 minus 1. Matlab that won't work in at here, right? So something was not working, and because of that, one thing that I want to show is whenever we take addition, subtraction and multiplication, such kind of things, we need to look whether we will be out of the range of the data type we are working on, right? So n minus t, this could be out of range, this difference could also be out of range. So for to overcome that, what I've taken is I've taken a long, right? I've converted that into with multiplying it by 1 ll, and I'm converted the set size is also with long, so I get any element from the set is in the range of long, right? And we can try submitting it out, and that would work. So yeah, that's it for this question. Let's move to our next question now. Before moving to the next question, we haven't talked about the complexity, and the complexity is big of n times log n, and n because we are working on the whole, we are iterating over the whole vector or the array, and log of k because all the set operation takes log of n, and where n is the window size, so log of k complexity, or the lower bound also takes log of k complexity in case of sorted form, right? So it becomes big of n times log k, right? And the next question is remove duplicates from the sorted. So here is a visual representation of the question. We have given 1 2 3 3 4 4 5, and I have just removed all the duplicates. So one is a single present single time 1, 2 present at a single time 2, and then 3 present 2 times. So I have removed 3 from the list, 4 present 2 time, removed from the list, 5 present 1 time, so remove 5. I'm denoting it by arrow, so that means it is a linked list. So what I have, the brute force is check count of each pair. If count is equal to 1, assign it to the previous node, right? So that's the brute force or the optimized version, you can say whatever it is. Like, so I'm talking about I'm standing at this position, I'm checking on all the other elements, right? So I'm standing at this position, checking on the all elements on the right, standing at this position, checking elements on the right. So I'm at 3, I'm standing and I'm checking key go and check, is there any elements equal to that, equal to you? So 3 and 3, yeah, there is another 3 which is, so we have 2, so don't insert us into the count, right? So note, use dummy node concepts for simplicity. What is this dummy node concept? We'll talk about that, right? And what type of complexities we are talking about here? We are talking about big of n because we are traversing on the list once, and big of one space because we are not taking any other space, right? So this is our question part. I've already explained you the question, and let's talk about the code. And I need to tell you about the dummy node concept as well. So in linked list we use this dummy node concept. We just created another dummy node and assign it as a fake head, and we declared it as a fake head. And what it does is, okay, now I have a fake head. I can attach any number to this fake head, right? So I don't need to check whether there is already head present or not and make my code look ugly, right? So I have created a dummy node of list node minus 200. And why minus 200? Because I need to take any value which is not in the range, right? So minus 100, 200, so minus 200, right? And then a previous, because I need to assign it to the previous value, right? So a previous, that is equal to the dummy or the fake head. And head, while there are elements in it, take a count 1. While head is next means there is any element present at next, and head value is equal to head to the next value, right? So this value is equal to the next value, then count is incremented and head would move to the next. So if count is equal to 1, that means there are not any number present in it, like this 1. Count is equal to 1, 1 is not equal to 2, out of the loop count is equal to 1. Assign this to the fake head, to the previous one, previous to the next is head, and make previous pointing to the same head, right? So at this position, like I'm standing at this position, let's just say, so when 3 3, the count would become 2. So I won't attach this to my previous element, which is 2, right? So I have add this position for here, count is equal to 1. Previous is a fake head. Let's just say there is a fake head here, and assigning 1 to, and assigning one next of that fake head to this position, right? So previous next this, now previous is pointing to 1, head is equal to head is to the next, I am moving to the next. After all of this, there can be a case, let's just say ki I will get another, let's ignore this 4, there is, let's ignore this 5, there is 4 4 4. Okay, so I'm not gonna insert that into the result vector, right? So I'm standing at this position and I need to insert a null here, right? And after that, just return next from the dummy or the fake head, because that head is fake. I need the next number, the real number is point, and text is next to the dummy head, right? So that's the code, and you can try submitting it. It is big of n and big of 1 space. Any single variable does not take a space, right? So it is big of 1 in a constant space. Okay, so let's move to our next question now. So the next question is previous permutation with one swap. Okay, and you can get these notes, the question in the description link, like previous permutation with one swap. Given an array, return the lexicographically largest permutation that is smaller than array. ओके, सो हमें कोई एरे दिया 3 to 1, हमें इससे एक बड़ी परमुटेशन बनानी है, एंड दैट शुड बी लेक्सिकोग्राफिकली, मतलब वो क्लोजेस्ट होनी चाहिए, राइट? द डिफरेंस बिटवीन देम शुड बी मिनिमम, एंड दैट can only be found by swapping or exchanging the position of two numbers I and j. It cannot be done return the same. So to achieve to get this, let's just move to a logical not section now. So we are talking about previous permutation with one swap. So I think I just misread the question at that time. Ki I need to get the previous permutation, but that should be the largest, right? अगर मैं, for let's just say, अगर मेरे पास 10 है, तो the number that is less than 10, that could be 9, 8, 7, but which is closest, that is 9, right? So 9 is the largest number, but that is also less than equal to the inputted number, right? So for 3 to 1, I have created a number 312. Same sense, I think literally like 320 दिया तो 310 बन सकता है कुछ, या 310 की रेंज में बन सकता है, बिकॉज 1 है मेरे पास, तो 312. ओके, वन स्वैप में अचीव हुआ, वन स्वैप में अचीव हुआ. 19467, 19,000 समथिंग है. कैन आई मेक 18,000 समथिंग? नो, आई कांट. 19,400, कैन आई मेक 19,300, 200? नो. 18,000? नो. 17,000? yes, I can form in something in the range of 17,000 because I have a 1 and 7. So 1 7, and that can only be achieved, that can easily be achieved by a single swap. 115, so 115, 110, no. 100, no. 90, 80, no, we can't do. So replace left side bigger with the just smaller on the right. What does it mean? Let's just see. Key replace left side bigger, so left side mein there is a bigger value, right, with just smaller on the right. Okay, as I've just seen, I was trying to make 19,000 to the 18,000, 17,000, right? So I am trying to decrementing on this major part, right? The one that affects the number, right? In like the bigger way. So 9 I need to decrement it, and so for that I need to swap with any elements on the right. ठीक है, any elements available on the right, and that number should be less than equal to this, but that number should be greater than among these numbers, right? Because I need to form the largest number. So makes sense. But let's just say the 313. Okay, and one more thing, key, if I'm talking about this here, so the for the largest number, and I'm talking about replace the left side. So for left side, and I can again use the same logic, right? So 7, 6 and 4, and then it break the pattern, which is 9. So that means I need to exchange this number, right? But in just case I need to exchange this number with just least just less number greater than this. You got the idea, right? 9 को 7 से exchange करना है, and for that 7 is in the last, so why don't just swap this element with the last one, right? So let's visualize this case. 3 get 3, and then it is decreasing, right? 7 decreasing, 3 similar, and then increasing. So this number needs to be changed, right? And this number needs to change. So can I swap with the last element? No, I can't swap it with the, so I need to get a number which is below 3, but up, but that number is greatest among these digits, right? So just swapping with the last element won't work. For 3113, the answer would be 1313, right? It would be swapped with this one, right? So I'm going to traverse on this part, and I will look for any element which is less than 3 but greater, which is less than 3 but greater than the amount. So less than 3 numbers are 1 and 1, and I can choose any one, but choosing this number will result into the greater but the less number, right? So that's the case, and let's move to the coding part. So coding part is pretty simple, right? Left larger with right just smaller. Okay, that's something that we want to achieve here is, so I've created a loop where that number is breaking the pattern traversing from the back. If array I is greater than I plus 1, array I is greater than I plus 1, that means it is breaking pattern. I am getting something like this. Okay, and before that the order will be I is not greater than the I plus 1, so it would something like 9, 989, like this way. Okay, and take 5 only. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this 5, 6 and 7, if I swap this with any other value, it will result in a bigger value. Swap this with any other value, result in a bigger value. Swap this with any other value, result in a bigger value. So I need to swap this one, that is one is breaking the pattern, right? So did the work until I get that position. If I is equal to -1, that means that position does not exist. It is in the form of this, it is not breaking any pattern where I is greater than I plus 1. मतलब ये number इससे तो बड़ा हो ही नहीं रहा. So 5 and 1 and 1, because अगर if I swap these numbers, so it will give me a bigger number. Swap this with any number, it will give me a bigger number, right? So return from that, and now I need to check any number which is just smaller than the choosing number. Then so k I equal to play plus 1, then I traverse on I plus 1 till end. If array of j is less than equal to I, that means that number is for sure less than the choosing place number, right? Array I, and that number is greater than the possible number that can be. So the possible position that can be is k. So if that is, that change the possible position to the j, then swap these two position and return the array. So yeah, that's it for, I hope you got the logic. And the space and the time space complexity is big of, and time complexity is big of, and at worst cases. Yeah, that's it. Let's move to our next question now. So the next question is spiral matrix. Yeah, you probably many of you have heard about this question. So there is a matrix and I need to print it its spiral form कि 1 से 2 जाना है, 2 से 3, then 3 to 6 and 9, just in this form, right? कि वो hypnosis करने वाला वो गोल चक्र होता है ना, like 1 2 3 6 9 8 and 4 5. So in this form, so what I am doing is I am moving from left to right, and then I'm moving from top to bottom, and then from right to left, and then I'm moving from bottom to top, and then again I'm moving from left to right. But in this case I'm moving one below that current position, right? So I need to work on that logic. I need to do it in a while or loop. I need to do these 4 direction steps, these 4 steps, and I need to do it in a light loop. 4 directions changes direction every time I do one, then I change direction, change direction, change direction. Can keep a count to check traversal needed. So I am talking about 2 cases here to implement this solution. You can choose 4 direction, ठीक है, मैंने अभी first direction choose करी. Can I traverse on more numbers? If I can, choose another direction. Can I traverse on more? Yes, choose another. Can I traverse on more? Yes, choose another. Can I traverse on more? Choose another. Can I traverse on more direction? No. this one is already covered and we will do something to get that. So या तो direction wise logic लगाओ या फिर can keep a count to check the traversal needed कि you just counted all the elements which is m times n, right? So 3 times 3 which is 9 elements, and if you counted 9 elements, if you have already printed 9 elements, then just return from the loop at that point. ठीक है, and we will look at the coding part now. Hey guys, we are on our fifth question of our sheet and I just want to code it out because people find it hard to understand. And तो सबसे पहले we just took the row and the column which is equal to matrix 0 comma size. Okay, m and n is in the range of 1 से 1 to make sense. Row column हो गया, right? Can take it as row and take it as column. Okay, so for iterating in like we want to traverse in 4 direction, right? Left to right, top to bottom, right to left, and then bottom to top. Okay, so just create 2 variables for that. First of all, a left one is pointing at this, the right one, and right one would be this, like left to right, so right would be column minus 1. Okay, then 2 variables for top and bottom. Now top is pointing at this because now it is at top position. The first direction, the top position, right? And for the bottom, it will be pointing to row minus 1, the last row. Okay, so these are the case. I need to do 4 direction traversal while something, right? We will talk about the while condition also. So first thing, we need to move from left to right. So, okay, so while moving from left to right, there is a variable L0 pointing here, R0. I just can traverse over it. So keep another variable for traversing because otherwise we will lose R, L and R values, right? So this is the traversal and just push it in a result. So matrix of something. Okay, create a vector that we need to return, right? This is something that we need to do. Okay, and we need to do this direction step 4 times. Okay, so first step is we are moving from left to right. So as we are on the same row, changing column, so the row would be same and row would be equal to the top because the top is pointing to this row, right? So it would be top and it keeps changing. Yes, after that, when we are done with this direction, this traversal, okay, now we won't traverse this row again, right? So we can increment our top so that next time I will be traversing this row, not this one. Okay, so top plus plus, right? Left to right is done. Now from top to bottom, same variable. Now we need to move from top to bottom. Now this is also the case because in this direction I have already pushed 3. Now I want to push 6, so I need to increment my top, right? And that's what I did. Okay, I just incremented my top and okay. Now the row keeps changing and the column is fixed, right? So row keeps on changing and column which is fixed and which is what, right? Because right is pointing to this now, right? Okay. Now after this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna traverse from R to L. So from R to L, now we have done with this row, right? So I need to start my iteration the next direction from this only, right? And from this only, what I was saying is key row was pointing to this position, the column minus 1, this thing, right? And I need to start from this. So just make R minus minus because I need to work on R, right? So I equal to R and I should be greater than equal to left part and it keeps on decrementing, right? So I need to do something for that also. And now what I need to push is as the row is fixed, and what is that row? Top, bottom, right? So this is bottom, okay, and yeah, tada. And after that, bottom to top. Okay, so when we are done with this thing, I need to increase my bottom because I will start at this position. Okay, so bottom plus plus, we will move till top on decrementing. Now the row keeps on changing, so this is for the row and the column which is fixed and which is what, L, because left is pointing to this, right was pointing to this, right? So this is done. And after that, when we achieve this, okay, now I won't no longer start from this left, right? So I can increment my left. Just made a mistake here. I need to decrement my bottom, not incrementing it. Increment would only be happen in the top direction, right? So that's the kind of skeletal code, right? So now what I need to do is I need to compare this while. So when will you do this operation, right? So when left is less than r, means there are any elements needs to traverse from left to r, or when top is less than equal to bottom. If there is a single element over there, so I would do, right? So will this work? No, it won't. There is another case, right? What if there is only one row, right, or one column, let's just say. So if there is one row, in the last there would be one row, and so for that what I will do is I will move from left to right, then I'll look from right to then I'll look from top to bottom, which is not available, and then I will again go from right to left. So this will result in reprinting of the same row, right? So for after two direction, I need to do something. I need to create a check. If left becomes greater than r, right, or the top becomes greater than p. If that's the case, just return result, right? You can return result here also. Code seems correct. One more thing, this is not or, this is and. Both conditions need to work, right? Because after this, in this traversal, right, the top and bottom should point at this position. This can't be the case ki top is pointing here and bottom is pointing here and you are traversing on this array, right? Because from left to right, what you are doing is you are making ti, right? So that's the code behind it. So yeah guys, that's it for the today's session. Hope you like it. I'll see you in the next session now. And one more thing, the assignment link, the notes link, and the Telegram group link all will be in the description. Connect me on Telegram now. So yeah, that's it.